Hey scholars, welcome back to Mr. Brandon's writing lesson. So excited to see everybody on here today. Scholars, we have a really excited lesson plan today and I'm excited to get started with you here. But first, what do we do first? We have to take our supplies out first, right? So scholars, go ahead and pause your video and take out a piece of paper and a pencil. So pause your video and take out a piece of paper and a pencil and we'll get started. All right, welcome back, scholars. So we are ready to get started here. So scholars, we are talking about punctuation this week. So we're talking about punctuation this week, and we're discussing different punctuation marks that we can use in different sentences. So scholars, we're going to talk today about a question mark. So a question mark is used at the end of a sentence about a question. So a question mark is used at the end of a sentence about a question. So, what do you think that looks like? Let's take a look here. All right, guys. So I have this sentence here written down about Ty, our scholar of the week. So let's take a look. So the sentence is, does Ty like ice cream? So there are a few different ways we could say that because there's no punctuation at the end of it so far. So the first way, does Ty like ice cream? Does that sound right to you? No. The second way, does Ty like ice cream? Does that sound right to you? No. Third way, does Ty like ice cream? That sounds a little bit better, right? Because it sounds like a question. So, all we have to do is add a question mark at the end for it to sound like a question. Does Ty like ice cream? Alrighty. So that is our punctuation mark for the day, guys. So now, let's get started with a little writing. Alright guys, so let's discuss our criteria for writing again. So let's discuss our criteria for writing. So what do I expect when we submit a writing response? So scholars, kindergarten, I expect that you write 4 sentences. So I want you to write 4 sentences about our writing prompt, which I'll give you here in just a second. So write 4 sentences, make sure that you have proper capitalization, punctuation, spelling, and spacing in between words. And scholars, also make sure that you're using different punctuation marks like the question mark or the exclamation mark that we talked about today and yesterday. Now, first grade, you're going to be doing the same thing, except I expect from you 5 sentences. So I want you to write a 5-sentence paragraph. So make sure that you're using interesting words and you're telling about characters in the story. So who was in the story? Make sure that you are telling me what the setting looked like. So how did things smell? How did things feel? Where were you? And then also, I would like to know about the events that happened in first, next, and last order. So tell me what happened first, next, and last. Guys, do you want to see another example for what I expect? All right, so let me show you what I expect when you're doing your writing responses. So, scholars, here in a second, I'm going to put up what I wrote for my writing response today. So see if you can guess what the emotion of the day that we're going to be writing about today is. So listen to my response and see if you can guess what the emotion of the day that we're writing about is. All right, guys, let's take a look at my response for the prompt today. So scholars, I wrote, have you ever been to the doctor? So that's the first sentence in my paragraph, and I'm starting off with something catchy that draws the reader's attention. So have you ever been to the doctor? Now that's a question because I have a question mark at the end. So the next sentence is, I was 5 years old when I went to the doctor for the first time. So that's me explaining what the first thing that we're going to be talking about is going to the doctor. So I'm showing what the setting is. The setting is going to the doctor. That's where it takes place. And I'm also establishing that I am one of the characters in the story. The next sentence is, the doctor said I needed to get a shot. So the doctor said I needed to get a shot. That's what happened at the doctor. So that was an event that took place. I was very nervous. So notice how I used an exclamation mark. So I'm using different punctuation marks in my paragraph. I bravely did it though, and my mom took me to get ice cream afterwards. So that was the last thing that happened in my story. So do you think you guys can guess the emotion that I was feeling in that story? So I was feeling nervous, right? I was feeling nervous because I went to the doctor. So scholars, that's what we're going to be writing about today. Tell me a time when you felt nervous. So kindergarten, you're going to tell me about a time where you felt nervous. So I want you to write 4 sentences about a time where you felt nervous. Make sure that you're using different punctuation marks throughout your writing. Now, first grade, also, you are going to be writing a 5 sentence paragraph. All right, so you're going to write a 5 sentence paragraph, making sure that you tell me character, setting, and events that happened in your story. All right, guys. Well, here's your prompt, and you guys did a great job today. Keep up the good work with Lexi and Zern, and I will see you again tomorrow. And I'm excited to read what you guys wrote for your responses. Bye, guys.